Hey Sachin, so I looked at your ESR and it actually shows a lot of potential. Let me start with the verbal section, and over here, the first thing that you see is that hey, clearly there's a lot of scope for improvement in sentence correction. Definitely should aim for something around 90th percentile. Similarly, on critical reasoning, aim for the 90th percentile over here. If you do that, you're definitely looking at a score of a V41 plus, which is in the 94th percentile. On the timing wise, I think you're all okay, but in sentence correction, one area where I see a lot of scope for improvement again is in the meaning-based question where it comes to communication. On the grammar side, it seems you're pretty okay. You know all the rules, and your performance also shows that. Similarly, in critical reasoning, in predictive argument, where we're talking about a plan or where the conclusion talks about something happening in the future, that's where you're making a lot of mistakes. So again, clear areas where you can put effort on, people dedicated effort on. In those areas, I think you're going to see that improvement happen pretty rapidly. From a timing standpoint, your score, it seems, was limited by timing. You did really well in the first two portions. When it came to this third block over here, which is where you tried to rush through things, this is where you see over here you started to make more and more mistakes. I think that's a big thing. And then over here in block 4, the test started to serve you easier questions. You had very little time again, and again that led to this as well. So essentially, your score in some ways you could say is timing limited 3 to 4 points, but there are clear areas where I can see that you can improve as well, where you're faltering, which is here in the meaning-based questions here and in the plan arguments over here. So definitely focus on building ability over there. Focus on doing what I call as a strategic review of questions, and I'm going to share a video of that around what is strategic review, so that you can really see this. But other than that, the thing that you need to make sure is, which is what's going to make a difference, is when you're answering questions in sentence correction, you're following the meaning-based approach. And when you're answering questions in critical reasoning, you're doing pre-thinking. In fact, this is very similar to a student over here who scored a 770 after scoring a 700. His story is very, very similar to yours. Let's see if we can get to his debrief. This is the one over here. This is the one, I'm sorry. And here, again, what you're going to find is very, very similar story, very similar abilities in CR and SC. He scored a V34, he scored a V35, and then he improved to a V42. Again, see the improvement in SC and CR over here. The attempt overall looks very different, but what caused the improvement for him is focusing on meaning, focusing on pre-thinking. In my opinion, given the other data points that I see over here, it's very similar for you. So that's for verbal. For quant, let's go there. I think there's some very clear indications again. You're better in algebra geometry than you are in arithmetic. So presumably, I think it's fair to assume that you got more challenging questions over here in algebra geometry. In between algebra and geometry, algebra is definitely where you need more effort. Your accuracy is lower over there. Also, you get more questions from algebra than you get from geometry based on our research. So this is definitely an area where I'd want you to work. Value order factors and counting sets and C's, even though your accuracy is high, because your ability is low. So this is value order factors is number properties over here, and this is word problems in many ways. So these are the other two areas where I would work. Now, accuracy is high, but the test did not serve very difficult questions to you because your ability is just 64th percentile over there. So even though the accuracy is high, the questions that you made mistakes on were the questions that were harder. So I'd definitely practice hard questions over there. Other than that, the role of timing, to a certain degree, yes, towards the end in block 4, I would put it in, but in my opinion, I would focus a lot more on building those abilities. Again, doing that strategic review. Once you do that, timing will fall in place. Um, and again, and then that's where, I want to avoid these early mistakes over here, which is when you had ample time to solve questions. I mean, you spend almost 3 minutes a question over here and still made mistakes. So I definitely see strong ability issues. You address those, you're looking at a Q50 in no time. But again, if you need more help, you can reach out to us. You can create a personalized study plan for you. But that kind of is a summary of where you need to put in effort. On the verbal side of things, SC and CR. SC focus on the meaning-based approach, and CR focus on pre-thinking. Again, you need to build those abilities over here in quant. Need to focus on algebra and number properties and word problems. So these are the 3 areas you need to focus on. And again, harder questions. You have the basics. You need to focus on practicing harder questions, doing strategic review. Over here, I think you need to look at these approaches, because these are the approaches which become more and more critical as questions become more difficult. So that's my analysis of your ESR. Good luck, and let us know if you need more personalized preparation, if you need a trackable system to help you track your improvement as you go from this point on.